Hi guys, so I'm going to help you a little bit with your Cell Energy digital notebook. So when we get into here, the first page is about photosynthesis, which we have talked about in class. If you look at the directions, it says drag the labels below onto the appropriate places to label the diagram. So you're going to label what is going into your plant and what was coming out of your plant as well. So you got 3 ins, 2 outs. And then we're going to drag our formula here, which is already got some on there for some reason. I'm going to move those out real quick. And we're going to do the formula, and I'm going to do some of that with you right now and talk about what goes on, and you just follow along with me. So these are the labels down here for the diagram, and you can see the color matches the little bubbles up here. So for example, sugar is something that is produced by your plant, so it's got to come out of the plant. All right, so you'll have to think about the other thing that plants produce. And then let's look at our formula. So CO2 is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is something that our plants use. So you need to drag it up here and put it into the beginning of our formula. That's our reactants, what's going to react. Plants also need water, so we're going to put that in our reactants as well. And you'll notice there's energy up here. The energy is, of course, light for photosynthesis. Well, then we got these really big molecules, C6H12O6, which is 24 atoms big. That's sugar. Plants produce sugar for us, and they also produce oxygen. So based on that formula, you should be able to get the 3 things that go into your plant and out of your plant up here. Then it wants you to describe the process of photosynthesis, including the type of cell it occurs in and the where in the cell it occurs. So, for example, the type of cell that does photosynthesis would be plant, algae, all right, and some bacteria. Plant, algae, and some bacteria. Okay, where in the cell? I want to know right here the organelle that does photosynthesis, which you should know because we just got done doing organelles. So you figure that out and fill that in yourself. All right, and then what exactly goes on? The plant uses carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight to make sugar and oxygen. Okay. And if you need to slow that down, you can pause me and rewind, and that way you can go back and get that. So you should have finished labeling this top formula up here, what's going in and out, using these down at the bottom. You should have done this along with me, done all this with me, and tell me what organelle right here does photosynthesis occur in. So let's talk about cellular respiration a little. Now this one we have not talked about as much in class. Cellular respiration is what we do, and actually all living organisms do it. And it's almost the exact opposite of photosynthesis. So if I'm going to do my formula first, in photosynthesis, plants use carbon dioxide, but we do not use carbon dioxide. Instead, we give it off when we breathe out. In photosynthesis, the plants produce oxygen, but we don't produce oxygen. We breathe it in, so it goes on this side. All right. Now, water's a little tricky because we do use water, but not for cellular respiration. And instead, this is something given off because the plants were using it, we're giving it off. And that's why if you breathe on a window real hard, it gets fogged up because a bunch of water comes out with your breath when you're doing cellular respiration. All right, and then we got sugar. Do we produce sugar or do we eat sugar? We eat the sugar, so that's a reactant. So we eat the sugar, we breathe in the oxygen, and we give off water and carbon dioxide. But why eat all that sugar? What is it going to give you? It's going to give you a whole bunch of energy. All right, so using that formula, I want you to take these dark pink labels and put them on the elephants. What 2 things go into the elephants? What 3 things come out of the elephants? All right, and then we're going to come down here and we're going to say what kind of cell this occurs in, type of cell? And the answer to that is all cells. Even plants do cellular respiration because they make that sugar for themselves and then they have to be able to break it down to use the energy. So all cells do this. All right, where in the cell? So we just finished organelles again. Where in the cell would we get energy? What organelle does that? You're going to have to tell me. And then for what happens if we put it in the words, all right, we eat sugar and breathe in oxygen. Then we produce, because it's a product, right? Produce carbon dioxide, comma, water, and energy, which is the whole point, is to get that energy. All right, so you should have taken these dark pink labels and labeled the elephants, followed along with me here, typed what I typed, and included what organelle is that powerhouse that's going to make that energy for us. Okay. On the next slide, we're going to put it all together here. We're going to label our diagram again, and this time I am going to help you because this one can be a little tricky. So follow along with me. We have energy. So energy has to be able to come into our system. So in this case, we know that the sun, right, is the source of energy. So that energy is going to go into the plants. The plants are going to make something for us, and one of the things that they are going to make is sugar. That sugar will then be eaten by the cow. All right, in order to make that sugar, we have to use some things, and some things are produced. Well, carbon dioxide is produced by the cow when he breathes out, just like us. The plants, luckily, produce oxygen for the cow. Here's another energy. When the cow eats that grass, he also gets some energy, right? The cow, when he breathes out, produces water. So the cow is producing what the plants need, and the plants produce what the cow needs. And they're both getting their energy through these two processes of combining both photosynthesis and cellular respiration. So when we look at what is the relationship between photosynthesis and cellular respiration, first of all, the formulas are the opposite of one another, almost exactly the opposite. Just the form of the energy changes. And so what this means is that plants produce what all other organisms, including themselves, need. And those organisms, oh, we should put through photosynthesis, sorry. Through photosynthesis. And those organisms produce what plants need through cellular respiration. So once again, you can pause this at this point so you can get that all typed down, and hopefully you have everything labeled there. All right, on slide 5, we're going to look at who does photosynthesis, who does both, and who does cellular respiration. Now you should know that if you are doing photosynthesis, what color should you be? On top of that, do plants do cellular respiration? Who does it? So you can go back to here and look at what type of cells does cellular respiration, and that should help you to organize your things. All right, so I can tell you, like this little lizard, he does cellular respiration. He's not doing photosynthesis. And then these guys down here, these are your organelles. So think about, what is this organelle with the squiggles in it that look like cursive M's versus this green one found only in plants. So you're going to drag your pictures up there where they go. On the last slide, I want you to define some of these terms. And so you can use your internet, your Google browser, to find definitions for these, or if you can do it in your own words, like you might know what the mitochondria is, go ahead and do it in your own words. That's perfectly fine. And then once you complete all of this, there is a drop box on Blackboard. It's the black title that you're going to turn this in for me. Good luck, guys. Bye.